sun blazed mercilessly over the ancient savanna. The air shimmered with heat. The ground was cracked and thirsty. Every breath carried dust. Every step stirred silence. It was a world untouched by time. And yet, something inside that world was changing. From far across the plain, a figure emerged. Thin, bony, almost ghost-like. He moved with the clumsy grace of a creature caught between worlds. No longer an ape, not yet a man. His ribs were sharp against his chest, his stomach hollow, his eyes wild with hunger. He had been walking for days. No meat, no fruit, no roots, only the ache of emptiness and the instinct that whispered, "Keep moving." Then he saw it, in the hollow of a sandy mound, a nest. Huge white eggs, smooth as stone, resting in the heat, and a shadow near them. The ostrich. Her feathers shimmered like black glass under the sun. Her neck rising tall, her gaze sharp. He froze. His heart pounded. He knew her strength. He had seen one strike before. A kick that broke bone. But the hunger spoke louder than fear. His mind, raw and untrained, was already making a plan. A new thing was happening inside him. Thought. He waited until she turned. His body lowered slowly, silently. Dust clung to his sweat-soaked skin. His breath trembled as he crept forward. One more step, another. His hand reached the nest, warm shells under trembling fingers. He chose the smallest egg, though it was still heavy, and lifted it from the sand. A sound ripped through the air. A scream that wasn't quite a bird's cry, not quite a roar. The ostrich had seen him. He ran. Bare feet pounded the earth. The egg pressed against his chest. Behind him came thunder. Wings spread wide, the giant bird closing in. Her feet slammed the ground, spraying dust into the air. He didn't look back. He couldn't. His lungs burned. His legs screamed. But he ran. He darted between dry bushes, leapt over rocks, stumbled through grass. The world blurred into heat and panic. The bird's shadow swept over him. He could feel her close, smell the dry, sharp scent of feathers and fury. Then, instinct again, he threw himself behind a mound of stone and dropped to his knees. The ostrich rushed past, kicking dust into the air. He waited, frozen, shaking. His heart hammered so loud it filled his ears. Silence. Slowly, he peeked from behind the rock. The ostrich stood a few meters away, her head swinging side to side, searching. She hissed, then stopped, then turned away. Her steps faded into the distance. He stayed there, crouched in the shadow for a long time. Sweat dripped from his chin. The egg was still clutched to his chest. Warm, alive, full of promise. When the savanna grew quiet again, he moved. Light was changing now. The bright white of noon shifting to gold. The air smelled of dust and dying sun. He walked carefully, keeping low, until he found a patch of soft ground near a cluster of rocks. There he began to dig. His fingers tore through the dirt, scraping stones and thorns. Blood mixed with dust on his hands, but he didn't stop. He made a small hollow, enough to hold the egg. He laid it gently inside, covered it with sand and grass, and pressed the ground flat. It vanished beneath the earth as if it had never been. For a long moment, he stared at the spot. The wind moved through the grass like a whisper. He sat back, breathing hard, chest rising and falling. Then came a sound, a distant cry, the ostrich again. She was returning. He ducked behind a rock, his thin body trembling. Through the gaps in the grass, he saw her. Tall, fierce, searching. She walked slowly, her head tilting, her sharp eyes scanning the ground. Her feet scratched the dirt, claws leaving marks close to the buried egg. The man didn't breathe. The bird paused, turned, and pecked the earth, right above the hiding place. He flinched. She froze, listening. Then, suddenly, she hissed, stomped the ground, and turned away. Her heavy steps faded into the distance, until she disappeared into the sea of grass. Only then did he exhale. A broken, gasping sound that was almost laughter. He pressed his hands to his chest and felt the wild rhythm of his heartbeat. He had done something new, something his ancestors had never done. He hadn't just run, he had planned. He looked toward the setting sun. The sky was painted in red and fire. The land shimmered in heat and silence. And in that silence, something ancient and extraordinary stirred inside him. Pride. He wasn't just surviving the savannah, he was beginning to understand it. He rose slowly. His body ached, but his spirit was awake. The buried egg was his victory, his hope, his tomorrow. He would return for it when the light was soft again. He turned to leave. The wind brushed over his skin like a sigh. The golden light carved his thin figure against the horizon. Bones, dust, and a spark of something divine. Each step he took felt different now, more deliberate, more certain. He wasn't just moving, he was walking into the future. Behind him, the ostrich's nest lay empty. The savannah glowed beneath the dying sun. The day ended as it had begun. Silent, vast, eternal. But something had changed in that fragile body, in those trembling hands that hid an egg beneath the earth. There lived a flicker of what would one day become humanity, thought, will, imagination. He looked once more at the horizon, his eyes reflecting the fire of the sky. The wind carried the faintest echo of his breath. Half growl, half sigh, but something in it almost sounded like a word. The night came slowly, spreading across the plains like a memory. Stars blinked awake, cold, eternal witnesses to the first act of human cunning. And somewhere in the darkness, a hungry, skinny creature with a mind newly born dreamed of tomorrow, and of what it meant to be alive.